I think at the stage we find ourselves now in implementation, we've gone past talk, we've walked some distance, so we want to start showing practical aspects of the implementation, showing evidence, and using this conference and things like this to validate our position that the Nigerian content activities are effective and that we have now come to a point where we need to start consolidating on the progress we've made so far. Well, we are a board, our headquarters is in Yenagoa, and we believe that the the impact of the oil and gas industry should be felt in most of the oil producing states, even more than it's felt in other parts of the country. Sadly, Bayelsa State has nothing to show for 56 years of oil and gas activities in Nigeria. The board is a welcome development being sited in Bayelsa. So part of our activities are designed to bring awareness, bring the industry down to this locality. And we're very happy that CWC NCI had agreed with the board that this was a good location. It was important to show that things can happen in Yenagoa the way they can happen in Port Harcourt, the way they can happen in Warri. The facilities are there, as you found out. We've got a very good conference center, and we believe that the hotel accommodation was quite satisfactory. We don't have a 7-star hotel here, but at least we can pass with comfortable accommodation. The major challenges we find are related to the same thing. It's capacity and recognition of available capacity. Even where capacity exists, it's difficult to convince people that this capacity is qualitative and that it can stand the international tests. However, the reality is that we have a lot of work to do. And the good news is that everybody is taking it seriously. And I was very impressed with the attendance by the highest level of the industry. The Group Managing Director of NNPC was here. The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Petroleum was here only because the minister was unable to attend at the last minute. Otherwise, the minister was scheduled to be here. The managing directors of the 6 majors were here, fully represented. Local MDs of the indigenous companies were here represented. So if you have an event associated with Nigerian content, with all the chieftains of the industry present, what does it tell you? It tells you that Nigeria, both the government and the private sector, are taking Nigerian content implementation seriously. And once you have all these forces working together, then you can't go wrong. And it's important to mention that the major regulator for the industry, DPR, the director of DPR, was here. I've never seen that combination anywhere before. So this tells me that something good is happening in Nigeria. They've got to start at the entry point. The best entry point is at the bottom of the value chain. They should enter and begin to work upwards. We have a special interest in getting the youth to come in, and that's why we organized another conference. Not to allow them get distracted with the activities in the main. We took them for special awareness programs, and I'm happy that that was designed to guide them on the various opportunities and the best routes into the oil and gas industry. And remember, the whole idea is not to put the youth in the oil and gas industry only. It's to prepare them for life ahead. And people from the oil producing areas, we want them to understand the issues around environment, the issues around production of oil in a responsible manner. The issues about participating in a positive manner with the oil industry to create value. It doesn't have to be in drilling only, it's got to be in associated industry. Money, once money is used properly, it already becomes a benefit. But specifically, this fund is designed to give the Nigerian suppliers and service companies easy access to competitive funds. That's by saying that, I mean the fund is going to create the platform for guaranteeing the loans so that banks can lend at single-digit interest rates. That's the simplest way of looking at it. It also allows us as a board to use the side of the fund for direct intervention to stimulate investments in key facilities, even if we don't provide those facilities on an outright basis. We will stimulate by creating some of the enablers for the investors to come in. I'll give you an example. We're going to buy land and prepare that land to the standards of an industrial complex so that a pipe mill can fit into that land. And we found a very unique location, a location that has a gas plant, the Baranu Bay gas plant of Shell, on one side of it, an IPP, the Bayelsa IPP on the other side of it, and the River Nile. So that is a combination that is like God set. And we've gotten the necessary approvals to go in and do that and develop it to the point where the pipe mill that has committed to set up in the location will do that. It's such a beautiful idea that Shell has offered support by building a jetty there. So this is again a model of collaboration that we've been preaching, and we want to use this as a template to encourage investments in oil and gas facilities where our Nigerian youth can begin to work on a continuous basis. So the fund is multifaceted. You can use it as a loan, and then we can use it to fund direct intervention projects, training of Nigerians in special areas of need, supporting the pupillage program that we just launched, which is a way of creating a pipeline for employment and certification of our youths to prepare them for what we expect to be a major rush of investment after the PIB is passed. And this links to the next phase of the focus of the Minister of Petroleum, which is to work towards getting the PIB into the frame where all stakeholder interests have been adequately handled, and then getting it as speedily as possible to the National Assembly.